I am Grace Shawa, the president of the class of 2021, and I will be your master of ceremonies this evening. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to the commencement ceremony for the Masuk High School graduating class of 2021. At this time, will you all please stand as I welcome the class of 2021 MRA members, Isabella Delapoli, Justin Ginta, and Grace Papsco, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated.
At this time, I would like to call upon Donna Lane, Chairman of the Board of Education, for her remarks to the graduates.
Good evening. On behalf of the board, I welcome you to the 2021 Masuk High School graduation ceremony. Graduates, many of you have no idea what the Board of Education does. We are one of many groups of people charged with carrying out the mission of the Monroe Public Schools. We play a part in providing all students of Monroe with the finest quality education to ensure each student achieves their full potential. We hope that we've provided you the tools as you enter this new leg of your life journey. Remember what you've learned in kindergarten: honesty, kindness, and hard work. It wasn't always easy coloring within the lines. Hard work will serve you well in the future, no matter where your journey takes you. However, it's pretty cool to color outside the lines sometimes. As a mom, let me be the first to remind you to call your parents. They'd love to hear from you, and not just when you need money. On behalf of the Board of Education, we congratulate you on all your achievements and wish you well as you begin the next chapter of your journey.
At this time, I would like to call to the podium Mr. Patrick McGovern to give the Salutatorian address.
Hello, my name is Patrick McGovern, and I am honored to speak today as the Masuk Class of 2021 Salutatorian. To my fellow graduates, congratulations. We have reached the next big milestone before going off to the next chapter of our lives. But what exactly is this next chapter that follows high school? I would like to begin by telling you all a little story that expands upon Mr. Jeffrey Seymour's famed character, Little Timmy. Fun facts: when little Timmy is not being lectured about the multiple benefits of working for Goldman Sachs, he loves to eat fish. One day, Timmy asks his parents to cook some fish, but they tell him that this time he needs to go catch it by himself. So he heads off to the local lake with his fishing rod and sees a large cluster of people fishing in one part of the lake, and he joins them. Hours later, he returns home with no fish. His parents wonder how little Timmy failed to catch anything. So they go back with him the next day to the lake to see the same cluster of people fishing in the single part of the lake. They ask him, "Why didn't you go to the other side of the lake?" "Because everyone else was on this side, and it is really muddy over there." "Timmy, we asked you to get us fish because we knew that you love to eat it. In order to get what you truly want, you cannot be afraid to get a little mud on your shoes." Timmy goes to bed later and reflects on what his parents told him. He wakes up bright and early the next morning to return to the lake. But this time, instead of going to the usual spot with the large cluster of people, he goes to the other side of the lake. His clothes get covered in mud, and it is very uncomfortable. But he knows that it would be even more unpleasant to go another night without eating fish. It was only when Timmy was totally covered in mud that he caught his first fish ever. Fellow graduates, perhaps we should be like little Timmy and follow our own paths, the paths that make us happy. Sometimes we may be afraid of the obstacles set on these paths, but if we choose to do what we enjoy and to serve the people and causes that have meaning to us, then we will do what we love despite fear. Just like little Timmy, let us not be afraid to go fishing on the other side of the lake, even if it means getting our clothes a little muddy. As a wise Jedi Master once said, fear is the path to the dark side. And so, rather than letting challenges intimidate us, let us view them with optimism. We are all going to encounter daunting tasks throughout our unique journeys. There will be many enriching opportunities in our future, so let us not let fear stop us from taking advantage of the many gifts coming our way. At this point, I would like to call upon the wisdom of a legendary physics teacher, baseball coach, and a true philosopher at heart, Mr. Brian Horrigan. One of the most important equations that I learned from him was not even a physics equation. E plus R equals O. Event plus response equals outcome. Sometimes there may be an event in our lives that we wish we could go back and change. But unfortunately, we do not always have control over the E variable in this equation, the events that occur that are more often than not outside of our control. Maybe this event is a past mistake that you cannot change, a situation that did not go the way you had planned, or maybe some other event that you did not cause, yet it still affects you. Well, a positive outcome can come from a negative event, as long as our response is positive enough. We cannot always control outside factors around us, but it is how we react to these unfavorable situations that makes all the difference. We cannot change reality, but what we can change is our perception of it. As Obi-Wan Kenobi said, you will find that many of the truths that we cling to depend greatly on our own point of view. In our lives, the big E variable has been the recent COVID pandemic, which was clearly out of our control. But what we were able to control was our response, as we were forced to adjust to many new customs that none of us had ever seen before. Many of the school events that we had been looking forward to were either canceled or done in an unconventional way. But today is a happy day, a day of celebration. Did the restrictions of COVID stop the teachers and administrators from altering our learn models to ensure that we receive our education? Did it stop the student government from giving us not one, but 2 Spirit Weeks in order to ensure that we create wholesome memories, not with our classmates, but with our friends? Did it stop them from creatively working to give us the best prom they could, no matter how unconventional? How have we managed to come out on top and finally to arrive at this day of celebration? What is our secret? Did we just get lucky? I don't think so. As Obi-Wan Kenobi says, in my experience, there is no such thing as luck. Instead, I think it is as simple as one of the main core values of Masuk High School, passion. When the Masuk community, the administration, and the students truly desire something, we are just like little Timmy, in that we do not let a little mud stop us from catching fish. If something means enough to us, we do it in spite of any obstacles that would even dare to stop us. We respond constructively to negative events to achieve our desired outcome. Our presence here today on this field is proof that we can overcome any obstacle set in our path. And now, to answer the question posed in the beginning, what exactly is this next chapter that follows high school? Well, you tell me. Whether going off to college, trade school, the military, or any other path that you wish to follow, you can truly do anything that you want. It might not always be easy, but once you realize that passion is stronger than fear, all things are possible. It is now time for us to pass on to our next chapters. I know that it can be sad for us as our time here comes to an end, as many of us will be going on in separate directions. But just understand that the lessons that we have learned and the enriching experiences that we have shared here at Masuk will live within us for the rest of our lives. To each and every one of you, Thank you. I wouldn't have wanted our time here to go any other way. And for this, I truly couldn't be any more grateful. Class of 2021, keep pushing, keep striving, keep enjoying, and most importantly, remember, the force will be with you, always.
At this time, I would like to call to the podium Miss Emily Dial for the valedictorian address.
What is the meaning of success? Success is a word that we have heard over and over again throughout these past few months, past few years, maybe even throughout our entire lives. It is something that we value, that we expect of each other. But I cannot tell you truly what it means. Many of you may believe that I, the valedictorian of our class, embody success. And when I look back upon my life, I see myself through the lens of my academic journey. I see a frenzy of work, the constant pressure of grades flowing through my consciousness, and yes, genuine excitement at the thought of studying something that stimulated my curiosity. But when it came to answering a question, what is your story? Simple explanations of my academic journey were not enough. Was I a hardworking student? Maybe. But surely that did not sum up my existence. Surely my life was more than a mere list of my academic accomplishments. After spending considerable time pondering my story, pondering that question of who I am, I recognized that something kept coming back to me. And it was not my own story, but that of my parents. Both of my parents are immigrants from South America, my mother from Brazil and my father from Guyana. They both immigrated to the United States on their own when they were young adults. My mother found work. My father started college but was forced to drop out because he could not afford it. And while attending his third and final college, he worked full-time, attended school part-time, and he graduated as valedictorian. My presence on this stage is a byproduct of my parents' bravery. I would not be standing here today had it not been for their hardship and sacrifices, and the decision they made as young adults to leave their homes and start over in a new country. So a part of my story is actually my parents' story. I have the honor of being their legacy. All that I have accomplished is not only mine to claim, because I would have accomplished none of it had it not been for them. At first glance, I believe that my meaning had to have been derived from my own experiences. But instead, I have come to understand that our stories may transcend the superficial events of our lives. They are more than our high school plots, filled with academics, athletics, clubs, and everything in between. They attempt to answer the question of why we do what we do and are what we are. And I am sure that if you consider your own stories, you may find truths about yourself that you otherwise would not have uncovered. So I would like to return to my initial question. What is the meaning of success? Frankly, I still don't know what the answer to this question is. But I believe that success does not exist in isolation. No one accomplishment makes any of us successful, so we must find ways to define it for ourselves. For me, my success, my meaning, is found in remembering my story, my parents, and thus my identity. So on this day of success, of graduating from high school, I hope that you will remember not only your diploma, grades, or extracurriculars. I hope that you will remember your stories. Thank you.
At this time, I would like to call upon the Masuk Concert Choir, under the direction of Miss Margaret Shavs, to the front. The choir will be singing Fly Away Home by Pink Zebra.
I'll ride with the horses, I'll swim through the sea, I'll climb to the mountain top. Won't you come follow me? I'll take time to notice all that I see.
At this time, I would like to call to the podium Ms. Hannah Gruber, who was selected to give the graduate address.
One of my favorite bedtime stories growing up as a kid was Brown Bear, What Do You See by Bill Martin Jr. The story was a short riddle that went, Brown Bear, what do you see? I see a red bird looking at me. The riddle continues to a yellow duck, a blue horse, a green frog, a purple cat, and so on. Today, if someone asked me right now, what do you see? I see a crowd of people looking at me. But then I would really think about the question, what do I see? I see the class of 2021, I see the teachers and staff that have influenced our education, and I see our biggest supporters in the stands, our family, our friends, those who have stood by us as we grew. All of us gathered around to celebrate a new beginning, the next step in our lives. Since we were kids, the big question was always, what do you want to be when you grow up? And most of the time, a child's response is a doctor, a lawyer, a business person, or an astronaut. Clearly, we are all not heading up to space or stepping into an operating room anytime soon. However, we are all on the same path as we end this very important chapter in our young lives. We have now spent 13 years together, from learning the ABCs to the quadratic formula and reading plenty of Shakespeare, only to be asked every year, what do you want to be when you grow up? Some of my classmates here today can answer that question without hesitation, and to those who can, I am truly inspired by your passion to know what you see. Personally, I do not know what I see, much rather who I want to be. There's this quote that hangs in the back of Miss Blake's classroom that reads, "Watch your thoughts, they lead to attitudes. Watch your attitudes, they lead to words. Watch your words, they lead to actions. Watch your actions, they lead to habits. Watch your habits, they form your character. Watch your character, it determines your destiny." Over the past 4 years, I've been inspired by my classmates to learn who I want to be. I want to be funny, like the kids in my class who can always make my teacher laugh on a bad day. I want to be ambitious, like my classmates who get to work right away with determination. I want to be kind, like my peers who are always complimenting our other classmates and helping them to achieve their goals. Masuk High School is a place that not only taught us the ability to thrive as a student, but also the ability to thrive as a person. High school is a very important milestone filled with life lessons and memories that will continue to be significant factors in our lives. I'm leaving here confident that Masuk has helped me shape my character and will help me find my destiny. Thank you to all the staff at Masuk High School, my biggest supporters, and my fellow classmates who had an impact on who I see in the future. We will reflect on these life lessons as they continue to shape us into who we want to be. As we close this memorable chapter and move on to the next in our lives, I ask you, graduates, who do you see? Thank you.
At this time, I would like to call to the podium Ms. Grace Shawa for her remarks as the president of the class of 2021 and for the presentation of the class gift.
For many reasons, this year was different from others. For starters, we shared a parking lot with the juniors, practically unheard of. And secondly, we each had enough cartons of school chocolate milk at home in our refrigerators to feed a small army. We played masked and socially distant sports games to the sounds of empty stands and hosted virtual classes through the lovely Zoom call. Most importantly, though, we confronted crises with charisma and the seemingly impossible with patience. The hero's journey is a common pattern seen in mythological stories. Often described as a series of 12 steps, the Umbrella Three include the departure, the initiation, and the return. Step 1, the departure. Often beginning with a call to adventure, the hero is drawn away from its norm and heads into the unknown, specifically on a fateful Friday in mid-March. Into the land of mask wearing and Google Meets, to 6 feet apart and hand sanitizer at all times. The hero may refuse this call, resenting this newfound land of virtual school, in hopes that normalcy will be quick to return. Upon the realization that this is not the case, and that toilet paper is sparse but walks around the neighborhood are not, they then cross the threshold and finally enter this new realm, accepting the adventure. Step 2, the initiation. Headlined by the stages of trials and the apotheosis, the hero takes on these challenges that are headed their way. The hero tackles some online AP tests while their junior prom is canceled, and they enter the summer with no inkling as to what lies ahead. They are left to confront the unknown one step at a time, saying goodbye to the class above them in parade fashion, and returning to the school in the fall for their final first day in 2 separate cohorts. While Friday Night Lights and a homecoming were no longer on the agenda, the hero took this first semester in stride alongside their teachers and administrators helping them to adapt along the way. Whether this meant a lack of lunch tables, or maybe just a lack of motivation, the hero was guided along by those who had their best interests at heart. From Mrs. O'Rourke's puppy entering the Google Meet screen, to Miss Sherry's Just Dance challenge as part of the psychology lesson that day, virtual learning was met with gradual acceptance. The hero comes to a mutual understanding of this new normal. Luckily, they can hear Mrs. Bartek's voice both in person or at home. As winter breaks and the signs of a hopeful spring dawn on the hero with the help of supporting characters Pfizer and Moderna, the heroes make their own new traditions: a powder puff football game, Team Camo, I demand a rematch, an outdoor pep rally, and a prom under the stars. The hero realizes this quest in the unknown is finally coming to a close. Step 3, the return. The return of the hero is marked by the translation of this knowledge from the unknown realm into the real world, taking what they've learned and applying it to new experiences they prepare to face. So, my fellow heroes, I am beyond humbled to stand before you today to mark this as your return. We, have successfully navigated the unfamiliarities of senior year with the most unexpected twist we could have imagined. So as we cross this threshold and re-enter a world that seems so foreign, I challenge you to embrace the obstacles you have overcome these past 13 months, because they have already prepared you for the unthinkable. Superintendent Kabza, Principal Swenson, Masuk faculty and staff, families, and friends, the class of 2021 is eternally indebted to you all for the work you have put in to make this year unforgettable for all of us. You have shown us all that there is no obstacle too big, and you have gone to new lengths to provide us with the rites of passage that make being a senior, a Masuk senior, so special. While the time and effort you have given us is priceless, the class of 2021 is honored to be donating the remainder of our funds to an electronic sign in the front of the school as a sign of our appreciation. We hope to return as alumni and see the dates of events such as the winter concert to the sophomore ring dance, the spring drama to graduation flashing across the screen upon driving up the entrance to the school. And as you may have noticed on your way down to the field, the rock that has been painted and signed by all members of the senior class will ensure that our legacy lives on once we are gone next fall. And lastly, to my peers, my friends, and the heroes of this plot, I know it was not the year you had planned, but I am proud of how each and every one of us handled it. Ugly at times, but eye-opening at others, new experiences confronted and achieved with success. As this hero's journey comes to a close, and we wrap up our return back to a place of familiarity, remember and appreciate all that you have gained. Don't get too comfortable though, because while this journey has run its course, your next one will begin come late August. A good plot rarely includes a long rest. Masuk High School Class of 2021, today is a celebration, not just overcoming a pandemic, not just graduating high school, but a celebration of living through history. I am beyond proud. Congratulations to you all, we did it. At this time, I would like to invite Mr. Stephen Swenson, principal of Masuk High School, to the podium for the presentation of the class of 2021.
Chairman Lane, Board of Education members, Superintendent Cosba, Assistant Superintendent Ceccolini, First Selectman Kellogg, my fellow Monroe administrators, members of the faculty and staff of Masuk High School, parents, guests, and most importantly, the class of 2021. Thank you for welcoming me into the Monroe community so graciously. As next Thursday will mark the end of my first 10 months as the principal of Masuk High School, I want to express my sincere gratitude for all of your support, understanding, and flexibility. As an educator, I am here to serve the school and community to ensure that all students are provided with educational experiences that empower them to take charge of their learning and their futures. At this time, I would like to recognize those members of the class of 2021 who have made the decision to devote themselves to the country through service. Would Nicholas Keegan, Maya Moore, Isaiah Roberson, Ryan Squibb, and Tyler Texera please stand and be recognized. Nicholas, Maya, and Isaiah will join the U.S. Navy, and Ryan and Tyler, the Marines. Thank you for making this choice. And speaking of service, with a combined 71 years of service to the Monroe Public Schools, would Mrs. Marie Blake and Miss Lisa Malillo please stand and be recognized? Graduates, I've been thinking for some time about what I would say to you today that could possibly convey to you just how much you have meant to the Masuk High School community, and to me, your third principal in 4 years. I must admit, my mind first went to telling you just how special you are to me because you are my first graduating class. And while that is very much true, it has also been done. My mind then went to maybe talking about how adaptable and resilient you have been through the crazy schedule instructional model changes that took place this year. This one was harder to dismiss because of just how true it was, but I dismissed it. Next, my mind went to talking to you about all that you have done in your time here to make it a better place by listing all of your accomplishments. But doing that would take us until the morning light, and none of us want to be here that long. So then it hit me. How cool would it be for me to sing to you one last time today? So here it goes. No, sorry. I can't. I think my wife's still here in the audience, and Mrs. Soper said I could never sing again. But if I were to send to you just one more Sunday night message, the song would be My Wish by Rascal Flatts. Here are some of the words. I hope the days come easy and moments pass slow, and each road leads you where you want to go. And if you are faced with a choice and you have to choose, I hope you choose the one that means the most to you. And if one door opens to another door closed, I hope you keep on walking till you find the window. If it's cold outside, show the world the warmth of your smile. But more than anything, my wish for you is that life becomes all that you want it to be. Your dreams stay big, your worries stay small. You never worry to carry more than you can hold. And while you're out there getting where you're getting to, I hope you know somebody loves you and wants the same things too. Yeah, this is my wish. I hope you never look back, but you never forget. All the ones who love you in the place you left. I hope you always forgive and never regret, and you help somebody else every chance you get. But more than anything, my wish for you is that life becomes all that you want it to. Class of 2021, may your dreams come true. Congratulations. Yeah. Nobody else heard the thunder, so Mr. Kabza, I attest that the members of the class of 2021 receiving diplomas have met or exceeded the graduation requirements established by the state of Connecticut and the Monroe Board of Education. It is my pleasure to present them to you this evening, and at this time I'd like to call you to the podium for the presentation of class of 2021. At this time, we will have the conferring of the diplomas to the graduates. Grand Marshal, please take your position.
Emily Nascimento Dial. Patrick James McGovern. Ana Cristina Castro Rodriguez. Callie Ryan. Arshria Cole. Samantha Jo Millette. Catherine Zimmer. Isabella Della Poli. Grace Elizabeth Papsco. Justin Edward Ginta. Hannah Elizabeth Gruber. Ariana May Andrade Abordo. Sarah Cayenne Abubo. Nelson Acevedo. Alyssa Adams. Michael Anthony Aiello. Sarah Fuad Al-Hamidi. Judy Majid Al-Hamwi. Caitlin Marie Alex. Kelly Lopes Almeida. Isabella Adjo Asigno. Gabe Augustin. Ryan James Baronello. Brittany Rose Berg. Emily Jordan Berkowitz. Emily Catherine Best. Sarah Nicole Bishop. Abigail Rose Bowen. Emily Grace Bowen. Julia Armanda Boyle. Quinn Braddock. Megan Brewa. William Manning Brakeman. Connor Gary Braun. Caroline Mary Bria. Tate Broderick. Amanda Reese Brown. Benjamin Matthew Brown. Grace Emily Callanan. Olivia Rose Callanan. Ryan Michael Camerano. Jack Joseph Campbell. Amanda Campos. Brandon Matthew Carballera. Connor Joseph Carano. Jason Castro. Nicholas Cedrone. Lucy Celentano. Brandon Chavaria. Tyler Chem. Brenna Elizabeth Chopsky. Jason Robert Saval. Jacob Aiden Coyle-Parampel. Miranda Nicole Canetta. Emily Jean Corna. Joshua Richard Carell. Joseph Anthony Kasha. Olivia Cross. Andrew Arthur Cummings. Lillian Lorna Kusa. Nicholas Angelo Dioria. Mohammed Ibrahim Daboul. Devin Brooke Diarra. Max Christopher Damone. Sam Matthew Damone. Noah Vincent Datillo. Brendan Dock. Lauren Catherine Davis. Derek John DeAngelis. Gianna Marie Delamargio. Matthew DeRubis. Marguerite Deriso. Jamila Diaz. Michael Dante Domichelli. Nolan Downey. Emma Catherine DeLude. Juliana Marie Epstein. Mateo Anthony Esmeraldo. Nicholas Joseph Esposito. Amanda Fagan. Michael Brendan Farinella. Erica Marie Fair. Jacob Lawrence Feinstein. Ryan Fennelly. Kylie Marie Fernandez. Maya Jolene Fox. Emma Mary French. Riley William Gaffney. Grace Christina Gallo. Michael Anibal Ganino. Isabella Elise Gauss. Tyler Ross Gazzaro. Benjamin Jeffrey Giles. Nicholas Giusti. Matthew Paul Graytrix. Adeline Christo Greenewalt. Tate Spencer Gustafson. Lauren Gu. J.C. Lauren Hall. Casey Shannon Halliday. Pavel Hansen. Jordan Rose Harris. Taylor Victoria Haslab. Sarah Nicole Heinrich. Sarah Elizabeth Hensel. Emmanuel Angel Hernandez. Rachel Julia Hirsch. Evan Burgess Haikati. Dalton James Hirsch. Julia Claire Hirsch. Kate Elizabeth Hodska. Ryan Holmes. Jessica Renee Hoyt. Kaylee Lynn Hubner. Matthew William Hull. Riley Andrew Immel. Olivia Sarah Jankowski. Madison Riley John. Tyler Matthew Jordan. Megan Donna Giuliano. Gio Kakabadze. Simone Capel. Rachel Lynn Cass. Abigail Rose Kauke. Nicholas Keegan. Abigail Maria Kellogg. Josie Ellen Kellman. John Matthew Kerr. Pavel Vladimirovich Korkin. Tyler Christian Kipp. Phoebe Madison Clishu. Jaden Marie Clutch. Zosha Kokab. Jacob Max Kubik. Colin Ryan Lang. Star Langlois. Elizabeth LaRosa. Garrett John Laser. Jacob Daniel Lee. Mason Eric Lee. Aiden James Lean. Alyssa Lickvar. Rachel Jean Lindstrom. Dylan Michael Lindwall Thomas. Dominic Anton Locasio. Maria Laura Messina. Josie Faith McGuire. Caleb Manicky. Celeste Burke Mertinsky. Benjamin David Mastroraco. Emma Elizabeth Mattingly. Taylor Alexis May. Jenna Marie McCarthy. Brady Thomas McGuire. Delaney Ann McGonigal. Kyle Eric McPadden. Giano Merlongi. John Robert Meyerly. Ava Ray Mahalik. George Jacob Minch. Luke Aiden Molwitz. Sophia Rose Monahan. Alva Moore. Maya Alia Moore. Sean Moretti. Daniel Mota. Fiona Alexis Motino. Kaiser Louise Mundorf. Gabriella Anna Nartovich. Julia Niehes. Jacob Vincent Nemergut. Joseph Allen Nizardo. Carly Lynn Northrup. Finian Patrick Nowotny. Mary Julia O'Connor. Gavin O'Reilly. Toby Olatinwo. Thomas James Palermo. Attila Paul. Nicholas Palmer. Frank Secondino Palumbo. Alana Perillo. Alexander Wolf Patrick. Adam Pavlik. Gabrielle Victoria Picone. Tyler Jonathan Pires. Michael Pisacreta. Vincenzo Angelo Placia. Rishvi Rao Pusker. Erica Potter. Daniel Prendergast. Sebastian Stephen Purcell. John Donald Pyrick Bennett. Ronan Fitzgerald Quinn. Victor Daniel Quiones. Isabella Celia Reusi. Andrew Resnick. Francis May Richards Hannigan. Isaiah James Roberson. Gianna Rosemary Rodriguez. Jeremy Michael Rodriguez. George Walter Rolifson. Sabina Maeve Rooney. Jake Leonard Rosati. Frank Rappi. Kelly Lynn Russo. Danielo Rybczynski. William James Solomon. Marina Salvis. Neha Blessy Samuel. Zachary David Santiana. Ian Sarma. Hannah Lynn Sawyer. Michael Patrick Sheeby. Juliana Haley Schultz. Owen Harrison Schultz. Kayla Scott. John Wen Sheehan. Haya Ali Chalet. Gray Simmons. Autumn Laurel Smith. Callie Ruggles Smith. Samuel Snyder. Ryan Charles Squibb. Samuel David Young Stay. Carly Elizabeth Steinbrick. Samuel Gregory Steppick. Elizabeth Ann Stozel. Joanne Sebastian Suarez. Hayden Michael Sutton. Connor Patrick Tedesco. Tyler Delphim Texera. Olivia May Tohill. Jason Evan Vasilakis. Rocco Ralph Veneruso. Daniel Joseph Verastro. Caitlin Patricia Welch. Elise Marie Weiser. Byron Anthony Wilson. Dylan Patrick Wilson. Elizabeth Ann Winnington. Alexander James Winters. Benjamin Peter Wakanovich. Cameron Yensick. Ellie Zayer. Mark David Zamory Jr. Grace Ann Zambarano. John Zook. Grace Catherine Shawa.
At this time, I'd like to call on Superintendent Joseph Kobza for a few short words.
I time myself, 2 minutes and 45 seconds, and this is going to hold off. Chairman Lane, members of the Board of Education, First Selectman Kellogg, Mr. Swenson, Mr. Ciccolini, my fellow Monroe administrators, members of the faculty, parents, guests, and members of the graduating class of 2021. I'm Joe Kobza, Superintendent of Schools, and it's an honor for me to be here tonight to address all of you. I've learned several important lessons over this past year. One, and I owe my wife a big apology for this because she's complained about it for the last 25 years, is that Cool Ranch Doritos, although very tasty, leave you with some pretty foul breath. I learned this the hard way during the pandemic when I had a few chips and proceeded to put my mask on. Only had to do that once, and then realized always best to brush my teeth after eating and before putting my mask back on. But another lesson I learned over this past year was that we were going to have to deal with a lot of change. We spent most of last spring and all of last summer making different contingency plans to deal with the various scenarios that we might face this school year. And I don't have to list out the ways in which the last 15 months have been different from any other you have experienced since kindergarten. You lived it. I even remember saying in August that the only thing I was confident would remain constant was that things were going to change throughout the year, and boy did they. Why do I talk about change? Because change is okay. While it makes us uncomfortable at times, it's important to embrace the reality that we will be adapting to different circumstances for the rest of our lives. And while I can't wait to get back to the normalcy of a regular school year, I know that there are things that we did this year out of necessity that have helped us grow and evolve and will be with us for years to come. I'm so impressed with some of you sitting here this evening. Some of you no doubt know exactly what you want out of the next year, the next 4 years, and the rest of your life, and that's awesome. Some of you are sitting here with a pretty good idea of what the future might hold. Perhaps a college major is already declared and a course of study pre-planned. Others aren't quite sure yet, and that's okay. You're not expected to have all the answers yet. My suggestion for you, try all kinds of new things. Take a class, pick up a hobby, volunteer for a philanthropic organization, introduce yourself to new people. Just keep your mind open. Like Irish playwright George Bernard Shaw once said, progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. My charge to you is that once you find your passion, that you pursue it with every fiber of your being. If you do that, you will truly find fulfillment and happiness. The same happiness that I saw on display the other day with tears of joy that several of you shed as you paraded through your former elementary schools. Chairman Lane, I attest that these members of the class of 2021, who have already received their diplomas tonight, have met or exceeded the graduation requirements established by the state of Connecticut and the Monroe Board of Education. It is my pleasure to present them to the Board of Education. Congratulations.
My fellow classmates, please stand and join me in moving our tassels from the right to the left, signifying our graduation. Congratulations, seniors, you did it!